Hi, Leanne. You're on mute.
Okay, hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thanks. How are you?
Good, I'm fine, thank you very much. Looking forward to this.
Oh, good. Spencer.
Hey Jill, how are you?
Good to see. What a lovely panel you have behind you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a favorite. Yeah. How's everybody?
Good, thank you.
Wow.
Good to be here.
Oh, good. Just going to give it another moment to let people arrive. And once we get started, I'll ask people to put their name and where they're calling from in the chat. But I'm really curious where both of you are calling from.
I'm in Bromley, which is Greater London.
Oh, wow.
Right. So
What,
yeah.
When I heard you speak, I suspected somewhere around the British Isles. What
Yeah.
time is it there?
It's 5 o'clock, so it's a
Okay.
good time. It's a good time for this. So yeah.
Oh, good. What about you, Spencer?
I am calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
We had about 30 people register, but you never know how many are actually going to show up.
No, I was thinking it was 12, but it was 12 your time, and then I realized it was 12 your time and 5 my time. So I was kind of getting prepared to be ready at 12 for this. And then it was, oh no, it's not 12 my time, but that worked out really well, actually.
Somebody came in very early, and that occasionally happens that someone will enter the Zoom room like 3 hours before, and part of me wants to go and say, "Hi, sorry, come back in 3 hours."
We're in the wrong time zone.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Looks like a couple people are entering.
So you're expecting people from all over the world or?
Sometimes, yeah.
Mm,
I didn't go and check where everyone was from, but it's not unusual. Pedro is here from Ecuador, Quito,
okay,
and
okay,
I'm in California.
okay.
And we just let a couple of people in, but I don't see them. How come? Oh, maybe they're not, maybe they don't have their cameras on. Let's go ahead and get started. It's 2 minutes after. So, welcome everyone. Hey, Chad, good to see you again. Please go ahead and put your name and where you're calling from in the chat, and I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. And I want to say, go ahead and grab a pen and something to write on, or your phone if you're using your computer, whatever, something that you can use to write, because we're going to ask you to do an exercise in just a little bit. So this is relational repair at the speed of life. And if that's what you signed up for, you're in the right place. And we're going to be talking about Mendful today. We are recording this and we plan to post it on the website. So let me make sure. Are you recording on Zoom as well, Pedro?
Yes, uploading to the
Okay,
cloud.
good. Okay, great. Thank you. So we want to post the recording on the website so that folks who didn't get a chance to join us today but want to see what was happening can have some place to go. And we'd also like to add you to our mailing list. Probably get 1 to 3 emails a month with my musings and what's up with Mendful. And if you would not like to be added to the mailing list, please message Pedro and say, no way, or no thanks, or don't add me, or whatever you'd like to say. And when we put you into breakout rooms for the exercise, if you don't want to go into a breakout room, also let Pedro know. The breakout rooms, by the way, will not be recorded. So we're going to do an overview of what we're up to with Mendful, some of the foundations of the Mendful training. Then we'll do an exercise to give you a little taste of what the Mendful training is like. We'll talk about how today's workshop fits in with the rest of the 1 hour series of 4. This is number 1 of 4. And details about the full training. Well, actually, the details about the full training will come at the end. We'll ask you to do a 2 or 3 minute evaluation of today, and then we will officially end, but we will welcome you to stay on if you'd like to know more about the upcoming Mendful core competencies trainings, and also any Q&A thoughts that you have about what an appointment. The therapist doesn't necessarily have conflict resolution skills or want to solve your problem. They may want you to keep coming back so they can put bread on the table. It's expensive and there's no resolution guaranteed. Legal and legal adjacent mediation often slices up the pie in a way where one former judge said, "I consider it successful if everyone goes away equally pissed off." And that is pretty much the opposite of what we're trying to do here at Mendful. And it's not good for everyday personal conflicts. It's certainly not available in the moment. And AI only can choke, can hallucinate, can lack nuance. It can fail at emotional complexity when the stakes are high, and it doesn't provide cultural relevance, resonance, or literacy, and certainly not love. So here's a quick glance at what Mendful is providing that other services don't, or they don't do it reliably. A peer support warm line is available immediately. It's sort of a more immediate version of a hotline. Like a hotline is if you're in danger to yourself or someone else. A warm line is basically like, I've had a really crappy day. I just need to talk to somebody. And those are great. But they aren't necessarily available by video. They don't work for 2 people in conflict necessarily. Any questions about this or anything I've said before I go on? Welcome to come off mute and jump in. Okay, keep going. So just to drive the point home, human forward Mendful versus AI only, there's the skill and the nuance in emotionally complex situations. There's the human cultural relevance and resonance, and there's love, and AI doesn't provide those things. So I wanted to emphasize that. So here are some early screens. You download the app and you get a choice. You can talk to a human coach. You always have the choice to bypass the AI, but you can talk to AI if you want someone or something right away who's trained in what we do at Mendful. Or you can browse the library of videos. And this library of videos was an early vision that I had for Mendful, where people could get a vicarious sense of resolution by viewing a video of people in a similar type of conflict. For example, let's say a gay son has just come out to his conservative, very religious father, and it's just not going well. Well, dad may not want to engage the app. You might think this is some sort of hokey, woke thing, but dad may be willing to anonymously view a video of a gay son and his very religious, conservative father and get a sense of being heard, because here's somebody like him who has concerns similar to his, and he may also experience a softening toward his son. Because if you're if you're a step away from actually having to face the conflict, you're not as implicated. And so that's why we want to build out a library of videos, not just personal issues, but also topical issues. Like some months ago, I facilitated a conversation between 2 Jewish friends of mine, one an Israeli Jew, another an American Jew, about their very different views on Israel and Palestine. I'm Jewish. These conversations are happening in every gathering of Jews that I'm familiar with. They're either happening or they're being consciously avoided. So topical issues, watching people have transformational conversations about topical issues can help soften some of the polarization vicariously. Once you download the app, you will see different practitioners, some of whom may have different emphases. For example, Jamal has been a friendship whisperer all his life, and so his expertise is friendship tending. Michael runs men's groups, and he specializes in helping men reconnect with their hearts. Sandra is dialed into the immigrant experience and helps Asian moms and daughters reconnect across those cultural and generational differences. And you can drill down and see more about each of these people, client feedback, media, and so on. So any questions about the app, the platform, before we go on to look at the training? Okay, and we'll have time at the end also. So a theme of the training is what I call internal references, internal reference. And we use practices of internal reference, somatic and linguistic. Marshall Rosenberg's, and I'll go into what those mean. Marshall Rosenberg's nonviolent communication is a great example of an internally referenced linguistic practice. It translates externally referenced linguistic phenomena like judgments, interpretations, evaluations. We're locating reality outside about what is wrong, what's bad, what's messed up, who's a jerk. It's like that you see all over Reddit, AITA. You heard of this? AITA stands for Am I the asshole? This is an externally referenced question looking for some outside confirmation of what is right and wrong. When you have, this is how we're acculturated in the United States and other places as well, but I'm speaking from experience in the United States. When we are acculturated to describe our reality in externally referenced ways, who is or isn't right, wrong, etc. Plus, we have an elevated nervous system. That is a recipe for conflict. So we learn what that looks like and how to get ourselves into a place of internal reference, both somatically in an embodied way, which comes from wisdom of the body, which I'll discuss, and also linguistically. We learn better how to do this within ourselves so we can help other people get internally referenced, at which point their conflict resolves much more organically. We also work with Matt Licata's The Path is Everywhere, and Resmaa Menakem, who coined the term, or with whom the term somatic abolition is most closely associated. And he has a fantastic collection of internally referenced somatic work to help us get underneath the racialized harm in this country. So practices of internal reference, somatic meaning of the body and linguistic meaning the words we use, are at the foundation of the Mendful training. And where this comes from, well, one step back where it comes from, I used to have a counseling practice called Wisdom of the Body, Beyond Talk Therapy. And the idea is we aren't just wounded emotionally or physically or mentally or spiritually, we're wounded multidimensionally. And so healing also has to happen multidimensionally. And not surprisingly, a lot of the work that we did in Wisdom of the Body had to do with conflict resolution, because it's in our relationships with other people that our wounds surface most spectacularly. So we would use either a staged situation of, well, let's bring your mom into the room and talk with her, kind of like Gestalt therapy. We'd use those moments to slow down the nervous system and work with what arises. When I was working more intensely with white anti-racist leaders, we would do white-on-white conversations. One of the last things that a white person often wants to do is talk to the other white people in their life about race. And yet that's one of the most powerful and impactful things we can do. And so again, that place of, but I don't want to talk to Uncle Fred at Thanksgiving. He won't listen. Yeah, well, let's try it anyway and see what comes up. Well, guess what? A lot comes up. So this work of Mendful and how we're parlaying all of these insights into Mendful is we're coming at it from the other end. Instead of using conflict as a way to do personal growth and healing, we're using all the insights of personal growth and healing, wisdom of the body, to approach a conflict. So in other words, when somebody comes onto the platform, well, he's a jerk. Well, she's a fill in the blank. Da, da, da. Let's slow this down. I'm going to come to that session with a slowed down nervous system. I'm going to gently help them unpack what's going on for them and get underneath to the feelings, the unmet needs, the values, and so on. So we're taking these insights of working on the inside with body, mind, spirit, and emotion. And we're not teaching them, we're not talking about any of this in this session, but we're bringing the insights, the awareness, the practices, the tools, the skills to how we show up with the people in conflict so they can unravel pretty easily. We call this a fast, slow method. And not fast because we're rushing anyone in any way, shape, or form, but fast because once we get to the heart of something, the conflict itself unravels sometimes so quickly that we don't have much left to do. And those of you who are in the field know what I'm talking about, right? When the people just start talking to each other and figuring it out. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes. So that's part of the lineage of Mendful. And in terms of body, mind, spirit, and emotion, I'm going to say a little bit more. I'll go over this at a high level, and then I'll drill down into one of these. In terms of body, we use an embodied or somatic model of a resourced system, meaning someone who can show up fully, who's grounded, who is centered in their heart, and isn't leaving their body or trying to force something, and so on. And in terms of the mind, we use nonviolent communication plus linguistic models. I say nonviolent communication plus because nonviolent communication mediation is the backbone of what we're doing. But we also use additional perspectives to get underneath the stories, the interpretations, and the judgments. It actually works really, really well because most people, when they use judgments and talk about how wrong someone is, there's some part of them that really wants to be heard and understood on a deeper level. They just don't know how because no one teaches us these things, right? We don't go to school and learn how to get underneath our stories and judgments about other people and reconnect with our hearts. Seems to me pretty basic, but yet we don't learn that, at least not in schools I went to. And then by spirit, I don't mean something woo so much as the dimension of meaning, values, purpose, and shared humanity that serves as a guide for how we want to show up in conflict. We do alignment work at the beginning where we bring in people's different spiritual and humanistic traditions so that we can have that all be part of the field that we're working in. What did I do? Body, mind, spirit, and emotion. So part of what guides me here is I've had so many experiences of going to a practitioner of one kind or another over years and decades. And just when I'm about to get to something kind of big, it seems to me that the practitioner would become anxious. And then in order to manage their own anxiety, they'd start doing their modality to me, on me. I mean, I've seen this even in NVC where people are doing a thing. They're doing the modality, but they're not really fully present with me. And it takes me out of my experience. And so the first thing we start with in the training is a practice of being witness. How do we be with what arises within us? And we get more into that in some of the other workshops. You'll get to, not today, but I think the second or the third one, we do an exercise where we look at like how are our feelings treated when we reopen? How does that impact how we be with our feelings now? This is so foundational, so fundamental. Again, no one teaches us this. If you want to go study it on your own, I really recommend Matt Licata's book, The Path is Everywhere, that I showed earlier. How do we be with our own emotions? Well, to the extent that we can develop that muscle of being with what arises within us, we will be able to bring that much more spaciousness to the people that we work with. I'm going to say that one more time because it's foundational. To the extent that we can develop our capacity for being with the emotions that rise within us, we will be that much more able to have that spaciousness and that capacity for what arises within others. So let's go a little bit deeper into the somatic model of a resource system. What am I talking about? What does that look like? What do you even mean? So here's what it can look like. We call this me-sourced. With me right now, if you'd like, feel your connection to the ground, the earth, feel roots running down. Feel the core of your being. What is actually you? Not what someone thinks of you, not the interaction you had with so-and-so this morning or yesterday. What's actually you? Can you become full of yourself? I know that has a bad name. Oh, that person's full of themselves. But if we're not full of ourselves, we're full of something else. So how do we become full of us? And how do we distinguish what is us and not us? How do we know what's our business and not our business? How do we, a lot of practices you might have heard of, like using I statements and owning your stuff, kind of reference something like this in a linguistic sense. What is ours? What is not ours? Can we come into our heart? Can we be fully present but not porous? Can we be present to the people who are bringing us really intense stuff sometimes and not take it on? How do we do that? This is one of the practices. And there's a 15-minute meditation. Pedro, will you remind me? I can send that out because right now that was just a tiny little taste. We don't have time to do the full meditation. I want to get you to this exercise. To come into this physical state. Really, it's a life practice. I thank Linda Cicera. I worked with her for 2 years and another teacher in her lineage for another 8 months after that. And that's where I learned these skills. And so how this comes together in a session on the platform is I'm going to put what Linda Cicera calls my basics. I'm going to get me source. I'm going to find my ground and my core. I'm going to come into my heart. I'm going to be present but not porous. So we bring that into the session. And so before I even say a word, I'm modeling the possibility of this way of being that will help conflict resolve, which can in turn help the clients settle their nervous systems and move from polarization to connection. And then the fun begins when we also bring language in to help the clients get linguistically internally referenced. Helps them, as I mentioned, helps them unwind their stories about how the other person is wrong so they can come into heart connection and resolve their conflicts. Remember, I said that internal reference was a key practice. So we use somatic internal reference by practicing it as we come into a session. We bring an internally referenced field. Our body is transmitting, our body is representing this way of being where no one is made wrong. We're clear about who we are and we're clear about what's not ours. And in modeling that, we can also help our clients come into that place where it'll be much more easy to resolve conflict. So let's have some fun. So bring out your thing that you wrote. I'm going to explain the exercise. Then we're going to demo it, and then you'll go into breakout rooms and do it. And do let Pedro know if you do not want to be put into a breakout room. He will not put you into a breakout room. And also, if you're in a breakout room and you need help, you can click ask for help. You can come back to the main session. For example, if you go into a breakout room and no one is there, or there's somebody with their camera off who isn't speaking, it looks like they might have left. You can do these things. So you're going to take turns being coach and client, and you'll do a 5-minute exercise each way for a total of 10 minutes. And the 5-minute exercise will be a 2-minute exercise, and then you'll get feedback for 1 minute. And then you'll repeat, incorporating the feedback, and then you'll switch. And so the way it will work is the client will talk to the coach as if they were in a conflict resolution session, sharing about the unresolved conflict that you wrote down earlier. And the coach, as a coach, you simply listen. You can say, tell me more. And you can guess, were you feeling angry, sad, anxious? And your role is mainly listener. Don't offer suggestions, don't offer advice. And clients, note the coach's level of presence in anything you saw them doing that isn't presence. And then the coach, after 2 minutes, will incorporate that feedback, a minute of feedback, and try again. And so let me do a demo of this 2-minute exercise, 1 minute feedback, and then incorporating feedback, except I'm not going to do it for 2 minutes. Spencer, would you like to work with me?
Sure.
Can you put us in, what's it called? Pedro Spotlight?
Sure. Give me a sec.
And then, Pedro, when you're done with that, can you put the link to this role play exercise in the chat? And then, folks, you can click on the link so that you'll have access to the instructions for the exercise when you go into your breakout room.
Right. Is everybody seeing Jill and Spencer?
I see Spencer, but not me. Oh, there I am. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, Spencer, I'm going to listen to you for like 30 seconds or a minute while you tell me your conflict, if that's okay.
Okay.
And thank you for being willing to come into the hot seat. I didn't talk to him about this beforehand.
It's good. It's all good. Thank you.
So go ahead, and I'm
All
going
right.
to be the coach, and then you'll give me feedback on how present I was. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So my conflict started actually with my cousin and my brother and his wife, and we're estranged now. And um, for a while, she was
Wait,
going.
what? Your brother?
Yeah, it was my brother, and yeah, my brother and his wife. That's initially where the tension started, and she lived
All right,
with.
let's put a pause here. I want you to give
Okay,
me some feedback on
sure.
how present was I for this?
I think when you, yeah, not as much because I saw you drinking the water and it kind of broke eye contact and broke presence for a minute. So that was there.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yes,
that feedback. I'm going to
yes.
try to do better now. I'm going to take a drink of my water beforehand so I won't be
Okay.
thirsty while you're
All right.
sharing.
All right.
And I've quieted my phone. And would you be kind enough to start again?
Very good. So the initial conflict started with my cousin
Mhm.
and my brother and his wife, and she went to live with them temporarily and over stayed for almost 2 years, rent free, and kind of seemingly took advantage of that and really never gave them anything and just overextended the welcome as far as they were concerned. And
Mhm.
so just later, we became estranged because she began later to complain after she moved out, complain about that she was treated unfairly at the house.
Huh. I'm
And
going to put a pause here.
yeah,
How was that?
how was that feeling?
How did I do better? How
Oh,
is my
oh, I'm
level of
sorry. Yes,
presence?
yes, yeah. Oh, yes, yes, yes. A lot better. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
this is a kind of a microcosm of how we
Yes.
work in the
Okay.
group. We
Yeah.
we show up with each other, we
Okay.
upload videos of practice sessions, we give
Got
each
it.
other feedback, we incorporate the feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you for it was it was a little bit hard for me when I was playing the role of somebody who was that distracted to then
Yeah.
actually come back and try to be
Yeah.
present. I
Yeah.
didn't take the time to de-roll. And
Yes.
Spencer, thank you so much for being willing to jump into the hot seat and share
Yeah.
something
You're welcome.
vulnerable in front of the group and
You're welcome.
demonstrate.
You're welcome.
Do folks have a clear sense of what we're doing in this breakout, or would you like another demo, or do you have any questions? Or are you ready to go? So I'm going to thank you, Spencer.
You're
You
welcome.
can take us out of, I can take myself out of, remove spotlight. So I'm going to go over it just one more time, just in case. So you're going to take turns for 5 minutes. One of you will be the coach and one of you will be the client, and then you'll switch. And the purpose is to um, use the conflict as a chance for the coach to practice being present and then to get some feedback, and then incorporate that feedback and go another 2 minutes. And then you'll switch. Any questions about the invitation before we put you into breakout rooms for 10 minutes?
I have a quick one. Hayes is
Yeah.
wondering if it would be possible to be just an observer on a breakout room, given he's not a practitioner and would not like to participate. Would that be okay?
Would that be okay? Is there anyone unwilling to have um, whoever requested observing be an observer? So in other words, one breakout room will have 3 people. 2 of you will be working and the third will be observing. Okay.
Right?
That's good.
Ping me if there's any trouble. I'll be
Okay.
ready to help. See you
Okay.
in a bit, okay?
Did Rachel ask not to go in a breakout room?
No, the thing
Because
is,
she's in.
Rachel is joined into.
Rachel's in room 6 by herself. Do you
Yeah,
want to go
I'm
join?
joining. Yes,
Oh,
that was the
okay.
plan. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I'll be joining now.
Okay.
See you in a bit.
Okay. Jays, I can't hear you. It says that you're talking, but I can't hear you. I can't see you.
I'm sorry. I,
It looked like no one was in your room.
yes, that's what I was saying.
Oh, I'm so
I just
sorry.
wanted, I just want to observe.
And then it looks like both of the people in your room didn't show up. Is that right?
I have no idea. I've never done this before, so I don't
I
know what I'm doing.
the person who is my assistant is managing the rooms, but he's also the floater, and that means that if there aren't enough people to even it out, that he goes. So then with him gone, I didn't know what to do. I'm so sorry that you didn't
That's
get to
okay.
participate.
I could maybe learn something from whatever feedback we get when we all rejoin. So
Sure,
I'm
sure.
basically just I saw this and I said, let me see what this is all about. And I signed up for all 4 sessions, but I'm really just here to observe and hopefully learn
Mhm.
something, if that is okay.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah, it's always, everything's always an invitation. And
And
that
I'm on
means
my
you're free. Yeah,
desktop. I have no camera on the
yeah,
desktop.
yeah.
So, and I'm learning though, I'm learning.
Right. You can continue writing as I'm talking. You can finish it afterwards. I'm going to share a bit about, actually, you know what? Let's officially end now. You can finish up the evaluation, and I'll say thank you for coming. And if you want to stay on, I'm going to share more about the training that's coming up. So we finished our first core competencies training at the end of April, beginning of May. And some of those folks are getting ready to staff the app for a soft launch. And the next training is coming up in July, and it'll be 3 long weekends, about 3 months apart. It's 6 months, 2 hours on a Thursday, and then 8 to 4 Friday and Saturday, and 9 to 3 on Sunday, all Pacific times. And then the January hybrid training, which we might turn into a remote training, is 9 months. We might also make that shorter. And so for this July training coming up in mid-July, you work in pods of 4 to practice together remotely between the weekends, including reviewing other people's recorded work. And that we ask you to allow about 5 hours per week. And that way we make the most of our practice time because we get visibility into what other people are doing. We see examples of best practices. We see where other people are stumbling and we support them. And together we elevate each other and we kind of amplify the power of the program. We are planning to soft launch the app in July, as I mentioned, with those coaches from the first training. And you can see details at mendful.world/training. And Pedro, can you put that link in the chat?
Sure.
And that has all the details, so I won't dwell on those here. But I also wanted to see if there's any questions or thoughts about the training or Mendful or the platform or me or anything you want to talk about, the exercises. We're at the top of the hour now, so we're officially done. I love when I can end on time. I will stay around for anyone who wants to chat.
Nobody is chatting, but Jill, would it be rude because I was late coming on just to give us or me a reminder of what the training is that you're talking about. What exactly is the training for? Is it to work on the app or
Most people who take the training want to work on the app, but you don't have to. You can use it in your own practice. Um, you do need to be certified to work on the app, and training is not a guarantee of certification. It's a separate process. Did I already answer your question, or was there more?
So when you say work on the app, what does that mean?
That means that you will provide conflict resolution sessions on demand during the time slots. Like, you don't have to work 24/7, but when you are available, people may engage you through the platform. I'm trying to say platform instead of app because we're not building an app quite yet. Um, let's say you decide that you want to work a 3 or 4 hour shift, make yourself available during that time. You'll get notified that somebody wants a session with you. And so it'll be either one or two people. And you'll work with them if it's one person, giving the one-way empathy, helping them engage the other person. If it's two people, helping them resolve their conflict that they're having in that moment, or have been having ongoingly, or had last week, or whatever it is.
Okay, wow, interesting.
Yeah. Because we want to make, right now, you can get a human on demand 24/7 for a ride share, in many cases for food delivery, and even for webcam entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that conflict resolution is at least as important, if not more important, than those things,
Yes.
given the state that our world is in. So that's the dream we're trying to fulfill.
And you're the first person to be actually doing this. There's
As far
nobody
as I
else?
know, some people who asked to meet with me were skeptical and say, well, I know some people who have tried to do this, and what makes you think that you're going to be the one to do it? I said, well, I'll tell you, number one, I've been living a double life for the last couple decades, one in tech and user experience, and the other in conflict resolution, personal growth, from the fringes. I have deliberately chosen non-mainstream paths because I've found that the most interesting stuff is outside of that. And the second thing is, and I'm married to the guy who built Netflix, and he's our chief technical officer. So we're in good hands.
Okay.
And we now have Pedro, who is my assistant, who is just amazing. And so he's taking all this administrative stuff that I've been doing off of my hands so that I can actually build the platform and get the coaches ready to work on it.
So is that what we would be then? We would be one of the coaches.
Yeah, you'd be a Mendful conflict resolution coach. And as you might have seen, eventually we want to encourage people, if they want to build their own platform within the app. Meaning, if you are specialized in chronic illness or blended families, anything that humans deal with, you don't have to,
Don't know how
but
to stop the Zoom, John.
you don't have to, but we want to provide cultural relevance on the platform. And by that I mean that we want people to be able to find other people who look like them, who have a similar life experience, so that they know that they will be that much more understood.
Hey. Yeah, no, it definitely sounds interesting. I think I'll sign up and do your training.
Oh, lovely.
Can I just ask something, which is
Yeah.
maybe mercenary, but do you get paid for it then when you're
Yes. I'm sorry.
delivering?
I
How
should
does
have.
that work?
Yes. So um, it's complicated, but the first thing I want to say is we are committed to right livelihood for the practitioners. We also want to have a practicum for people who aren't yet certified to be able to work on the app, get hours, I hope get something. We're trying to find out what the market will bear. Because this is a brand new thing, people don't know what it is. It's not therapy, it's not legal mediation, it's not food delivery ride service. We have a survey right now. Actually, we should send out, Pedro, could you make a note to include the link to the survey in the follow-up letter? The survey is asking people, let's say you have a conflict, would you use something like this? It's a detailed survey that asks people what they currently do to resolve conflicts in the moment, how's that working out for them, what they would pay for something like this. And they're saying that they would pay around $60 an hour. We're hoping for something more like 200 for a variety of reasons. Number one, I don't think people realize how valuable it can be to get conflict resolution help in the moment and actually resolve your conflict. I don't think people even know that that's possible, but we know it is. I've seen it happening for decades within nonviolent communication mediation communities and so on, but it's happening in these little